Hello, this is Jill Hope with iShine Wealth, and today I'm doing a really fun interview with a client who has been participating in our Soul Led Business Club. My client's name is Julie Little, and Julie is an amazing coach who helps people who are going through transitions, either trying to transition through a challenging experience in their life, or they're looking to make their life better. And today we're going to be asking her some questions about her experiences in the Soul Led Business Club and some of the results that she has experienced in working with us. So welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Jill. This is really fun to be able to do this and to chat with you about what's been happening in my business.
Yes, very excited. So Julie, I gave a very mini introduction to what you do, but why don't you tell everyone listening, what do you do? Who do you work with? And a little bit more about your work.
Okay, great. I am Jewels of Wellbeing. So I'm a well-being coach, and I help people who are maybe needing to find out what lights them up and then actually head in that direction. And it can be lots of different things, just like starting to have more music in their lives or taking a larger step, going through a process of even just feeling what's right for them when they never ever have.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit, Julie, about some of the challenges or the problems that you were facing in your business prior to joining us in the Soul Led Business Club.
Okay, great, Jill, because that's so interesting to me. I've done a lot of programs and I've done a lot of big 2-year long trainings and things like that. I've done a lot of things in the last 7 or 8 years. And maybe each one of them took me a little mini step forward. I'm not sure, but I felt stuck. And it's funny because I teach people about feeling stuck, but I felt stuck about how to get new clients and how to feel like doing that is a positive experience and not taking something from someone, but instead offering them my gifts. And so I had very few new clients, and I had moved to a new state, which made it even harder, and it just felt stagnant.
And so what was that like for you to be investing in a lot of different programs and maybe taking a little step forward, but really not building up the traction? Like, just what was that like for you in your life and personally?
Well, it was really disappointing, and it was really hard to even justify continuing. You just kind of want to give up, and you feel like it's been a waste of time, or it's going to be a waste of time if you don't find something that actually is going to work. So I didn't want to feel like I had wasted money and time and energy and gone nowhere. And it was making it feel like, okay, I got to get a job. I'm an entrepreneur. I know I can make this work, but maybe for the next year, I ought to work for this company or something, which I did do in the last few years a few times. And it turned out to be so draining that it wasn't actually, it's more relaxing about, okay, there is money coming in from a part-time job, but it's also more draining that I don't really have time to do my business.
Well, so what was it that attracted you to our program? Why did you step into that?
You and I had met in a program and in a group where we were kind of supporting one another, and I found out about the voices, and I studied those, and I saw that there was a lot of potential that wasn't coming forth. And you had talked to me a couple of times. I also paid attention to the things that you put out there. I always have, and the potential to have my voice be what leads me instead of just all this other thinking that's out there.
And so, what are some of the most impactful results you've received from being in this program?
At this point, I would say it's both attitude and hope, and clients that are actually showing up and opportunities that are actually showing up that I could never have imagined or expected or even leaned into until it happened. I also teach Tai Chi, and I have a Tai Chi group that, it's every Wednesday and there's only a few people in it. But one lady recommended me to this giant athletic club here. And now they've hired me to be their beginners Tai Chi teacher. And it was just like, how did that even happen? And I've never been to a job before where I automatically have it just for showing up. It was just given because she recommended me, and they didn't have anybody. And they watched my YouTube video of the Tai Chi that I did in that same setting. And so just getting all the pieces to fit together, keeping up with the YouTube channel, which I really haven't done, but then adding things and having it that supported the whole thing. And this is a way for me this is something else you said, and so I don't know if it fits here or not, but do the things that work for you. Don't do what works for others. And I know that meant a lot in your own growth. And what works for others has always been things like, okay, get on YouTube and put out a funnel and all that. And my feeling about that for the last few years has been, no, I want to meet up with people in person. And so my meeting up with people in person teaching Tai Chi, I've gotten 2 new clients in the last 3 weeks just from doing what I know I want to do. And Jill, I got to say, that's what you said. That's what you said. Do what you want to do.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So you've gotten a couple new clients in did you say the last 3 weeks?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you've gotten these other opportunities like the teaching at the Tai Chi. What do you think has made the difference? Because you did all these other programs. What is the difference in what you've been experiencing now versus then?
Yeah, I feel like it was the voice of money. In all the other learning that I've done, it was about business, but it wasn't about the inner work, about my relationship to how this works or how I bring things in or accept wealth or any of that. And one of the things that was a practice that you gave me, I think all of us, was the writing down every single day what comes in as far as like in the account and paying attention to it. And I don't actually do the writing every day, but I keep track every day, and every few days I will write it. And it made me feel and notice. So I would feel like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Even when I would get like 35 cents for one of my books selling because it's digital. I got a digital book sold and I got the 35 cents from that. But I would write it down each time and I would feel fortunate or rich, or I'd feel those kind of feelings when I hadn't been. So I was open. And I noticed even the other day, the newest client didn't pay for like 7 or 8 days. And the day she was going to, I started to freak out inside, panicking thoughts of, okay, what happens if it doesn't work out and all this stuff. And then I stopped myself and thought, no, she's going to. I gave her this space because I knew it would work for her. And I thought, well, do I send her a text? And then I did. And then, she wrote back and said, oh, yeah, definitely by tomorrow it's going to happen. And then when we went somewhere, there it was, So I've had other people in the past tell me you're your own block. And I can tell that, and I can feel that that's been happening. So it's nice for it to be, it may be a wall here, but now it's got holes in it or it's permeable. And I can kind of relax that wall and put it down, roll down the window and say, it does work out for me and it is happening. And I do get things coming to me even when they're not expected. This particular client just sat next to me at lunch and said, oh, what do you do? And we kind of knew each other through Tai Chi, but I said, I'm a life coach. And she said, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I really need to talk to you because I really need a life coach. And I've never had anybody just like, jump on board so easily. It was crazy.
That's really cool. Love it. Well, talk to us a little bit about your experience in the program, like with the other participants, and like what the level of support is that you feel you get. What is that like for you?
Okay, super. I love the other people that are in the group, and it's so interesting that they're from far and wide. You know, we are in different time zones, but they are all in different time zones as well. And we're making it work because we show up. And I think that's been really nice. There's a Facebook group, but there's also just, you know, the comments made in that meeting that we do twice a month to say, you know, oh, I love it, what you're doing, and I really support what you're doing. One particular participant in there, she and I are very far away physically, and we've been doing comments on WhatsApp, you know, and she was doing more about organizing your space. So I sent her a picture of my messy desk. And then recently I thought, you know, it's time for me to do something about that. And I sent her a picture of my cleaned up desk. And it was just, I just felt like, you know, these are people that care. Yes, that's a nice container that you have set up for us to, you know, really say, because you do that. You ask, okay, so does anybody else in the group have anything to say to what, you know, Julie just shared or something? And it gives us an opportunity to get to know how can we be supportive, and we are.
Great. So you talked about a little bit about how your business is showing up differently for you since being in the program. Is there anything that you're noticing in your life at this point that is different? Any different qualities or, you know, anything that you might want to share around that?
I think it's just what I talked a little bit about before, the sense of, I don't know what to call it, but like not sensing the panic when it's like something's not happening, or it's hard to tell what's coming next as far as opportunities or, you know, anything. It's sort of a feeling. Maybe that's what it is. It's more of a feeling, maybe of hope, but maybe of, I guess it's a knowing. And you've talked about it, and I've never really had a contact with that. The knowing that it is what I say it is. It's not just that I hope, you know, I've always kind of said, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this, maybe, or I hope I will, or wouldn't it be nice if I ran a retreat in a beautiful location or something. But knowing that I have put the work in, and it has been a few years, and all of the pieces are now in place, and the fact that it's coming together makes sense, and I'm okay with that. You know, yesterday I was at the Tai Chi class, and they were talking about a bookstore, and I said to the lady, oh, I've been meaning to talk to some bookstores here because my book isn't anywhere in any local bookstore, local location. It's just an Amazon thing. And she said, oh my gosh, I can certainly do a book club for you when our center opens back up in the fall, and we'll just have a little book talk, and you can have the people. And she just started going on about it. And just the fact that I said it out loud, you know, it took off. And so you have to have the knowing or the hope or the confidence to even bring things like that up. I don't usually bring up, oh, well, I wrote a memoir, but I did. And I've done a couple of other things where people say, oh, well, I can connect you with so-and-so because I spoke up.
You're using your voice.
Exactly. Yeah. This new client introduced me to her naturopath by, you know, text or email or something, and said, oh my gosh, what you guys do is similar. She needs to know about you. And then she gave me the phone number, and then she wrote again a second text, and said, be sure to contact her because I've sent other people to her and they don't ever try. And that's disappointing. Make sure you do something. And I thought, well, okay. And I did it right away. So that was it. You know, it's the resiliency, but also the confidence. The confidence in the voice is, if I use my voice, it's going to help or it can't hurt.
Julie, are you comfortable at all sharing a financial around results that you've received thus far, even if it's like ballparking?
Yeah, I think I can figure that out. A couple of things, you know, my clients pay me about $1,000 for a 6 weeks program. So I have a client that is continuing. and has continued, in 2024. I've had her for a long, long time. She's wonderful. And then I've had these 2 new clients. And so that much times 3. And then the new opportunity for teaching Tai Chi at the athletic center is going to be the highest paid Tai Chi I've ever taught. It's double what they pay me at the Tai Chi at the community center. So that's going to be not only that piece, but in the future, that is a highly exclusive place with 22,000 members. So I think the future of that is, I'm just going to meet some really cool people.
So huge potential there for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that openly. I appreciate it. So where do you see your business, Julie, in the next, say, 18 to 24 months, 12 to 18 to 24 months, somewhere in that time frame, if you continue on this trajectory that you've opened up this year in the program?
I think I do a daily practice where I'm going to try to think of what I want and my intention for the future. And I want a small boutique business. I don't want any kind of, at my point of being semi-retired, I don't want a giant fame or following, I guess you would say, on YouTube or anything like that. But if I were to have continuing clients and 1 or 2 new clients in a month, and then I'm doing the things I love, which is also, sharing and teaching Tai Chi and stuff, then that would be a perfect fit. And it would just make life so much more joyful for me to be doing not only what I love, but only what I love, and not doing other stuff, that's definitely coming, that in the next 18 months, that's where I'll be. And I think that, it includes things like travel and things that I want to do, which I think I was inspired by yours too. You got to set some goals and meet those goals with your travel, where you want to go and when you want to go. And I think that's what I want as well. And I think it's what it's my intention.
So Julie, as we wrap up here, who do you think would be a perfect candidate for this program?
I think entrepreneurs who have a need for their voices to fit more into their business. We use our voice in our relationships, and we use our voice in parenting or in our own self-talk sometimes. But do we know how to incorporate that into our business so that it's really a right fit? And the answer isn't yes for everybody. We think we do. We think we've gotten all the right advice, and then boom, we're kind of spinning in circles and wondering why it's not doing something else. So I think it's just good to have accountability and have an actual group of people who hear what you have to say and kind of share it back as, oh, this is what I hear you doing. I think an entrepreneur that likes working not just with a coach, but also with a like-minded team. That's nice.
And do you have any words for, let's say you were speaking with someone who was having similar struggles to you in their business, and they had learned about this program and they were kind of on the fence? What might you tell them?
It's very helpful to have a mirror for what you're doing and wanting to do, and not getting stuck facing the wall. You don't have, you're looking at the wall and you're saying, well, I still see that same wall. So in terms of the voices and the inner talk and the trying new things, it's very helpful to be in a place where, I don't know, I guess I felt for a long time as an entrepreneur that I really needed a team. And I would say, well, I don't really have enough of a team. There's somebody helping me with this, but I don't really have the full team. And I think one of the most important team members in a business is someone who's cheering you on. You can have your media person, and you can have your accountant or whoever else you have, but that's not the person who's cheering you on. So that's really helpful. Thank you.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for sharing your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences in the Soul Led Business Club. And where can people learn more about you and what you offer?
Thank you. Yes, so my web page is www.jewelsofwellbeing.com. And it's all, there's no other dots in there, just jewelsofwellbeing.com, but you do need the www. And my own email is julie.little52@gmail. And I am happy to talk with anyone who maybe knows somebody or is interested in finding out what lights them up and heading in that direction.
Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing. And I so appreciate you. And I love working with you so much. And you're such a bright light. So I feel very blessed to have you as a client.
Thank you. Wonderful. And I feel blessed as well. And it's been a nice journey, for you and I to get to know each other and what we do and what we can do to support everybody in the group. And thank you very much, Jill.
You're so welcome. Thanks, Julie. And if you're interested in learning more about the Soul Led Business Club, or you just want to talk to me because you're struggling in your business and you feel like you're stuck and you're spinning and you're not sure what your next step is, then I'd love to speak with you in a soulmate client strategy session. You can schedule that by clicking on the link below and we'll set up a time to talk. So until next time, I'm Jill Hope with iShine Wealth. Bye for now.